What up? It's Ace. Catch you on the Bootleg Cab Show.
Bootleg Kev Podcast, special guest in here, my guy Ace. If you guys do not know who Ace is, big time manager in the music industry, manages Cordae, managing Turbo. Who else you manage?
Tommy Genesis.
Okay.
Tommy Genesis. Couple other development.
So how did you get started in the music industry? Because you're from Boston, right?
Yeah, I'm from New Bedford, Massachusetts, man. It's like 40 minutes south of Boston. I had a mutual friend. Her name is Suzette James. She was living in Miami at the time. I was going to school in Florida. And we had a mutual friend of Wyclef Jean.
Ah.
Yeah. So Wyclef had a concert down in Miami. I came down from Daytona Beach to kick it with Susie on her college campus, Lynn University at the time. It's in Boca Raton, Florida. We went down to watch Clef in Miami at the Fillmore. Me and him just connected backstage. We he was just cool as fuck, and he took a genuine interest in me. I was in school at the time. I was playing scholarship basketball, so I wasn't even in the music industry.
Where were you playing basketball at?
St. Andrews University. No, Bethune-Cookman University at this time in Daytona Beach.
So you were going to school in Florida?
Yeah. I was playing scholarship basketball.
That's great. So you ended up meeting Wyclef just backstage?
Through her.
And he just fucked with you. And then
He
from
just
there,
fucked with me.
From then, what happens with Wyclef?
I went back to school. This is like my sophomore year.
Right.
We just stayed in touch. Unfortunately, he was running for president in Haiti at the time.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah.
I forgot he did that.
Yeah, bro.
What year was that? Was that like 08?
08?
Yeah.
09? Yeah, like 08, 09.
Yeah.
So
He lost, right?
he dropped out. He got shot. And he was just like, I'm good.
How do I not remember Wyclef getting
They
shot?
tried to assassinate him, the
I don't
president of
remember
that
any
time.
of this.
It wasn't really that important.
They tried to kill Wyclef?
I mean, that's important, but like,
What the fuck?
yeah. They
There was
tried
an
to kill.
assassination attempt on one of the members of the Fugees, and the other guy is in
Is
prison?
it an informant?
What the fuck?
Maybe there's some lineage between the two. Who knows?
Did Praz set Wyclef? Oh, no, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, nah, show with the conspiracies, bro.
Anyway, so continue. He was running for president at the time.
Yeah, he was running for president at the time, and he was just using me as like his young eyes and ears for the landscape of what music was at. Because even though he was in politics, like it's like he's still a musician, and he was out of his deal with Sony. You know, he had that song with Akon and Lil Wayne that was a smash. I'ma tell you, like who told me, cash rules everything around me. So get $1 bills. The sweetest girl. The sweetest girl.
Sweetest girl.
Sweetest
Yes,
girl.
Sweetest
Smash.
girl. I remember this. I remember. Okay, now that
High
you say
school,
this,
she was the girl
now I
that made me
remember.
do
I
that.
remember. That was like his
What
last,
about
like kind of like radio like record.
Yeah, it was the last one.
Yeah, I remember that record.
So like he had that record, and like this is like 2 years later when I met him, and he was just like, this is when like it was cool to be independent. Remember,
Right.
like YouTube like took over TV and was the forefront and the centerpiece of all content.
I feel like right now it's really like when it's cool to be independent though. Right now, for real. Everybody wants to be indie and get it out
Hell
the
no.
mud. Right
Bro,
now,
the labels own the DSPs. They're like squeezing the juice out of like
the labels don't own DistroKid.
No, but it's like
They don't own TuneCore.
But it's like if you upload your music to DistroKid, where's it gonna go then? You're paying for your own ads. Like how are you gonna get in the playlist where you get visibility? For the first 24 to 48 hours, playlists actually work. After that, it's just visibility. But visibility is everything.
I don't
It's
know.
awareness.
Man. I think LaRussell's done a good job getting on playlists.
That's one guy.
Russ, TuneCore. You know.
Tell me, what's the irony between both of those names you just mentioned?
I know a few guys who are doing very well
They work together.
on DistroKid and on.
But if you just look at, again, I'm gonna use this word.
Well, I don't want to get. We'll get to all this, but okay, Wyclef, 2010, 2012.
So this is when like being independent was like cool. Like you had like Funk Volume. You had
Funk Volume Wave and Tech Nine. Strange Music was in the Double XL, and
like it was. You could be independent. At the Chance was like acid rap Chance. That was that
right.
time.
Macklemore, both him and Chance were independent-ish.
Yeah, even Mac Miller like was Rostrum. Like that's independent. Like Rostrum was independent. They were at the time. But in any case, I was just like putting Clef on to like what was happening at that time.
Right.
Like J. Cole was like. For this like Friday Night Lights, J. Cole.
Right, mixtapes.
You know what I'm saying? Like Section 80, Kendrick and shit. So I was just keeping them privy to like who was popping and what was going on. And Bro, by the time like my senior year came around, like I've been playing ball my whole life and at a high level. I just got like burnt out and tired of it. It stopped being fun because it became a business to me at a young age. So I reached out to Clef and was like, yo, I want to be in the music industry.
Right.
He's like, well, would you want to be like my A&R? I'm like, yeah. That's like I was searching like consultants and the music consultant and A&R kind of fits the exact description of what that is. And he's like, okay, dope. Call me when you graduate. I'm like, dude, I'm in college. Like I can go play pro overseas. I have a degree, and it's like like that's my like stamp of reassurance when I get out of college. It's like, call me when you graduate.
I'm like, I graduated today. I quit.
Yeah, bro. So I did. I mean, I graduated. I went out to New York to his crib. We chopped it up and kicked it more, and then I just started making back and forth trips from like Massachusetts to New York, just getting in the studio with him. He was working at Daddy's house.
Were you at the only time I saw Wyclef live was randomly at South by Southwest in like 2014.
I didn't go with him that. I remember that, but I didn't go.
He was just on stage with a guitar. Schoolboy Q opened, and it was fucking gnarly. It was like Wyclef with a guitar in like a basement in Austin. Just
he's an incredible performer, bro. He plays every instrument.
He's a beast, man.
But yeah, I mean, in short form, that was kind of how like I got in. Was just like I got in with Clef. I was like, once I was working with him, I was just bringing in all of the people who were like my peers who I was a fan of.
Right.
But they're fans of Wyclef.
Right.
So because I'm their peer and I'm young and I'm able to bring them in studio with Clef and put them on records and curate videos and all types of shit, like they're looking at me like I'm lit because they're like, this is a legend and like this is the guy who's next to him, Ace. And he relied on me to do that, and fortunately he gave me his platform and the green light to be able to just speak on his behalf and curate anything around him that I thought was dope, useful, and what was in, because he was a little disconnected from it.
Right.
So I built a lot of my relationships from originally utilizing Clef's likeness and my positioning around him. But then those relationships, as time would pass, like I continued to add value to them, and they became a relationship of my own.
So how do you end up linking up with the YBN kids? Because you obviously, I met Namir through you.
Yeah.
Cordae through you. You told me about Cordae. Shit, you were like, there's this kid. We're out in Maryland. Here's a SoundCloud link.
Yeah.
It was before the freestyles came out.
That's so crazy, bro. You know what's crazy, Kev? That's a fact. You really were the first person who, like, outside of, like, me, of course, like, working with him, you were the first person who was on Cordae for real. Because no one even knows that the first music I heard from Cordae was a SoundCloud thing, bro. So that's how I know you were.
You sent me a link, and it was like, it was before any of those videos came out. It was before he was out here, yeah.
I just wanted to see your opinion because you were super supportive of the YBN shit. You always supported us. So I wanted your opinion. That's so funny, though, bro. You really were the first one on him. Now I got a call from my boy. He's an OG. James, he's a lawyer, and he was like, yo, I got this kid. Actually, it was from my boy Byron who called me first, who was working with us on management at the time. He was a part of management. He's like, yo, me and James have this kid, YB and Namir, and he needs a manager. Like, he's about to be on the road, and he's leaving tomorrow.
His mom was involved at first too, right?
His mom was just always involved with his mom.
Yeah.
Not business. She's just like,
right.
That's her only child. She just like couldn't let him leave home. But I was supposed to go on like a 5-day road trip with Demrick just to go fuck off and party with Coco.
Right.
He was on tour with fucking Dizzy. So I'm like, bet, we're about to jump on the tour bus to go party in Denver, Salt Lake City, Vegas. And I got that call. And I didn't even know who Namir was, bro. I was pretty much actually about to be done with the music industry. I was about to just stay on the brands side of shit in corporate. I was just tired of like hustling so much, bro.
Yeah.
And then I got that call. And he's like, yo, it's a California leg of a tour, and he needs someone to go out with him. I'm like, yo, I got plans though. I'm like about to just go fuck off. Like, and he's like, all right, well, I'm just telling you, like, this kid's doing 1 million views a day on YouTube right now for his first ever video. And whoever we put out there is probably gonna end up bonding with him, and that's gonna be like the solidified position.
Right.
So I was like, all right, give me 5 minutes. I hung up, was talking to Coco. I'm like, yo.
Checked them out.
Yeah, I checked them out, and I'm like, oh shit, like 8 million views in 9 days on this video.
Was it running on the paint shit?
Yeah, it was. And if you remember, 1 million views for a video at the time was still like, kind of like, that was traditionally like a big record for an artist if you had
sure.
1 million views on YouTube.
For sure.
It's not like we hit the SoundCloud wave right after that, if you remember, where people could do 1 million views in a day, but Cole Bennett kind of changed that.
Yeah, no, the YouTube shit was big for sure.
Yeah, before that, if you had 1 million views, that was a big record. So for him to have like 8 million views in 9 days, I was like, yo, I can't miss this opportunity. So I met him at the Mondrian, like an hour later. It's like 1 a.m. Found out that we didn't have a bus driver. It was a shitty van. I was gonna have to drive it. I had no license. I showed back up 4 hours later, like 5 a.m, jumped in with like 5 of these like little wild young kids. Namir was super cool. He was pretty quiet. He didn't know what the fuck was happening, bro. Like, this is all happening so fast. Right. And we went on like a 6-city California run through like kind of like the shittiest towns in California, like
Bakersfield.
Yes.
Fresno
was one. It was like, what was it? Not Arleta. No, that Arleta's local. It was like
Oxnard.
No, that's a pretty cool town to be.
Modesto, Stockton.
It was Stockton was one of them. No, Modesto was one of them.
Yeah.
And then it went way up into Humboldt County, bro, like where people don't even go. But we bond, and then we came back down into Arizona. So we bonded, we got real close, and the rest was kind of history, bro. Like, you know, Amir moved in with me.
Oh, I know he was living with you for a while.
Yeah,
Wasn't Cordae living with you too?
Bro, I had the hype man, whose name is Glizzy. I had Amir. I had YBN Almighty J. I had our DJ living with us. Bro, I had like 5 of these little niggas living in my loft.
Jesus.
With fucking 2 dogs. And then Amir went and bought a dog from Jazz Prince. And it was a
Was
Frenchie.
Almighty J living with you when he was fucking Black China?
Yeah, I made the phone call. Like, I called TMZ to pull up on him outside of the bowling alley with China. Yo, I was on a plane. Plane was about to take off. He calls me. He's like, yo, we're at the bowling alley. Because he was fucking with China for like 2 weeks, but I'm like, yo, we gotta get this out, bro.
Oh, for
like,
sure.
This is like gold, bro. You're fucking China. Like,
right.
Jay's all skinny. He's like 18. So I'm like, yo, at some point, you just gotta let me know when y'all out in public. And then I'm gonna do what I gotta do. He calls me. He's like, yo, I'm at the bowling alley with China. We're about to leave. I was like, yo, I need you to hold her there for 10 minutes. I'm gonna call TMZ and have them pull up. He's like, yo, I don't know if I can hold her, but I'm gonna try. My plane's about to leave in like 5 minutes. So I'm like, yo, where you guys at? He's like, man, we're going out the left entrance, out the side that goes into the parking lot. I was like, I need you to go out the other side on the street side. There's bushes there. TMZ's waiting. He's like, all right, I'm gonna redirect her. Hold on, I'm gonna call you right back. My plane took off, so now I'm sitting there in the air waiting, right? Wi-Fi kicks in like 30 minutes. He texts me, he's like, yo, my bad. He's like, yo, they got it. They got it. They all jumped out. She's pissed. I'm like, that's perfect. They got it though? He's like, yeah. I was like, what did you do? He was like, I just acted like I didn't know what was going on. I was like, what did she do? He's like, she just kept on walking. She's pissed though, bro. I'm like, yo, it don't matter. We got it. Yo, the next day, so I'm flying cross country, right? To New York. So I land in New York off of Red Eye. So it's like 6 a.m., but it's like 3 a.m. in LA.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, like, I take a nap in New York because I'm jet lagged. I wake up like 9 a.m. It's already everywhere on the, like, all over the fucking media by like 6, 7 a.m. It was fucking everywhere.
That's
But
such a weird situation.
China didn't have a
'cause
problem
he was like
with
a
it,
child, for real. Wasn't he 18?
Yeah, he was 18.
Oh my God.
He was 18. Yo, Jay was knocking him down, bro. I'm not gonna lie, bro.
How I know?
Jay hit everything, bro. Jay's hit more. Yo, Jay's hit every bad bitch. And in black, in brown, American hip-hop culture, bro, Jay's hit them all, bro.
Interesting.
Jay's hit them all. You have, yo, almost any chick you can think of who's popping right now in the female landscape of rap,
Almighty J's been there.
Almighty J. Almighty J's the man.
What a list.
He's the one.
I can't wait to talk to him.
And he's still on a run, but now it's just like, it's way more under wraps because he's under wraps.
So at what point in time did you, because obviously there was the YBN split, Cordae dropped the YBN from his name. Everyone's still cool, you know?
Yeah.
Everyone's still kosher. But like you kind of just dove in with Cordae. So what was like the like obviously Cordae's fucking, you know, generationally talented guy. He's great kid. Like what was it about Cordae that made you want to like really focus on him as a client?
Like once I already was working with all 3 of the guys.
Yeah.
He was focused. He wanted to be great. He wants to be great. He still does. But I'm saying, like, I noticed that from the very moment that I started working with Cordae, our conversations were different than what I was having with Jay and Amir, you know? And I mean, look, to like Jay and Amir's defense, like Namir never like wanted to be like a professional rapper.
Right.
Namir always made music, even when he was younger, but like he didn't have like that bug, you know, like that burning desire to be great.
He wanted to be famous.
He wanted to be famous. Yeah, he wanted to be famous. Yeah, actually, yeah. And he got famous, and then it was just like, he's like, what the fuck do I do now?
Right.
And everything was happening so fast. Namir always just wanted to be a kid. He just wanted to be famous while doing it.
Right.
The industry doesn't really allow you to do that.
Right.
Once you have a real demand, like it becomes a business.
Right.
So he struggled with that. Jay always just wanted to fuck bitches. So like,
and he successfully
once he
did
achieved
so.
that, once he was successful at that, it was hard to keep him focused. Cordae always was like, he would wake up and go to sleep just talking about like
rap music,
ideas, and like what's the next step, and like, yo, I did this, I did that. I'm going to meet with this person. I was networking with this person today. This person hit me up. Yo, what do you think about this record? Everything was just music. So he was focused.
Was it his idea to do the J. Cole reply?
It was. We were living together at the time. He was living upstairs in my loft. He came downstairs one morning. I woke up. He came downstairs. And he's like, yo, I was thinking. Mind you, I never even heard the J. Cole.
1985, yeah.
Yeah, I never heard 1985. He came downstairs like, yo, you know the 1985 record by J. Cole? I'm like, that's on his new project? Nah, I ain't heard it. He's like, well, basically it's like, he's touching upon like how this new era of youth and rappers and kind of like what you would consider to be the SoundCloud era. He's like, my generation, how everyone's kind of lost and how a lot of the mistakes we're making, they're not gonna last. You know, I feel like making a response for that on behalf of like my peers and my generation, the youth, explaining to him and even just those who represent that older generational mentality, like, this is why we do this. And why don't you look at it from our perspective? And I'm like, sounds dope.
Killed it.
But I never heard the original. So like, I'm just supporting him, like, go do it. When he came back and played me the record, I still never heard the J. Cole one. I was just like, yo, this is wild.
Yeah.
Like, the narration.
Without even knowing the context,
I was just like, the narration of it is bridging, like, this separation in this gap that was becoming, like, really, really obvious at that time. Was well aware between traditional rap.
Of course, yeah. That was like peak SoundCloud shit, and it was like,
yeah. And I mean, there wasn't even anybody who was doing real rap from the new school at the time. Nobody was making traditional hip hop.
For sure. Yeah, he was like, oh, wait, this kid's 18 and he's fucking rapping over Eminem.
yeah. So I was like, that. All that collectively kind of was what made me really, really focus on Cordae, because I have a job to do, and quite frankly, like, people in my position, we empower those who allow us to do our job and who take their job seriously.
What is, like, for people who don't know what a manager does in a role like yourself, what is like your duties as a manager? Like, for people who are interested in maybe getting into the music industry or, you know.
I think that the job description itself has a few kind of unwavering core responsibilities for everybody, right? No matter what client you represent, because it does vary.
Right.
Every client needs different things and wants different things. But managing relationships, first and foremost.
Right.
You don't even have to like your manager. If you're doing your job as an artist and your manager is good at managing relationships, you guys can be extremely successful together. You know what I'm saying? Because as an artist, it's like, you're the centerpiece. Like, you're the engine of the vehicle. Like, what you do determines if it goes or not. Mm-hmm. If your manager is good at managing relationships, he's likable, he's dependable, he's charismatic.
Right.
He's genuine, he's friendly. He does good business by thinking about what the other party is getting out of every equation, not just what you guys are getting, so that people see him as fair. You guys can be great together.
Right.
That's first. Second, I think that your manager has to have, if you're managing this is the difference, right? If you're managing a rapper, it's different. If you're managing an artist, right, then I think that there has to be a vision attached to it, because there has to be a long-term goal, not just nearsighted accomplishments as the focus. When you think of rappers, right, and this isn't to discredit anybody, but this is just like, this is just a fact. There's country artists, pop artists, reggae artists, hip hop artists, right?
Right.
when they say rappers, it's kind of because like rap is the evolution of hip hop. It kind of created its own image, almost like its own genre. It's like it came kind of with the evolution of production, right? So, like not necessarily bass lines, but like 808s and synth pads and different things like that. And then the concepts and the subject matter of what rap talks about. Hip hop stems from like black and brown people coming from like inner cities in just places in America where your voices couldn't be heard. You didn't fit a certain political stature, economic stature. So through breakdancing and graffiti and song form, people would listen now.
DJing, parties.
People would listen now. But then rap is the evolution of that, where it's like it represents black and brown people who have now achieved those things that we didn't have now. Now you have wealth. Now you have money. Now you have a political stature. So it's like we can talk about different subject matters like cars and wealth and all these different glorified things we never used to. You see, rap's like the evolution of hip hop. So I feel like if you're managing rappers, the landscape of what that lifestyle entails, you can be in the clubs, like you can do features for money.
Set up bags. Try to set up some
bags, bro. Like in like, yo, motherfuckers getting rich out here, and I love that shit. That's what I love about how hip hop has evolved to rap. But in some of the other genres, the traditional genres of like hip hop, country, pop, reggae, R&B, whatever, there has to be kind of a more long-term goal that's attached to it, because those are not cash-out genres like rap has become. And that's why rap is so saturated. It's because there's enough money in it to satisfy everybody.
Yo, what up? It's Bootleg Kev. We got to stop the interview to tell you about our folks at MyBookie. That's right. So many ways you can gamble with MyBookie right now, man. Of course, you got NBA playoffs, Western Conference Finals, Eastern Conference Finals. They're set. I love Celtics versus Lakers in the finals, all right? You can sign up at mybookie.ag right now using that promo code BOOTLEG and get a very generous first deposit bonus. That's right. And they just got the craziest, like, revamp of the online casino. It's like a Las Vegas experience. If you play cards, blackjack, roulette, you shoot dice, whatever it is, they have like live dealers handling it for you wherever you're at. You could be at the airport and be playing fucking roulette on your phone. It's amazing. MyBookie.ag. Sign up with that promo code BOOTLEG right now. You can bet on sports. You could do slots. You could do blackjack, craps, whatever you're into. MyBookie.ag. Promo code BOOTLEG for that first deposit bonus, and it is a generous one. Also got to give a shout out to our family at King Palms. Shout out to King Palm, man. If y'all ain't know about King Palms, they're our new sponsor on the Bootleg Kev podcast, and they got such a great product. The best thing about King Palms is it's all organic, man. No tobacco in these wraps. They're straight leaves, and the best thing about them is they got this product. They're flavor terpene tips, all right? You stuff them with your product. Do we got one here? Oh, we do got one here. We got one right here. We got one right here. All right? You stuff this with your premium cannabis from Hardy in Las Vegas. All right? You smoke up, pinch that tip, you're going to get a burst of flavor. Yeah, this is the energy drink flavor. We got peach pineapple. We got watermelon wave. Also, don't forget the goddamn blue grapes. You know what I mean? And also, this is a tobacco-free wrap. It's totally organic. It's literally a leaf. Let me show you what I mean. That is just a big-ass leaf, guys. All right? So what you could do is go to kingpalm.com. Weeds flying everywhere. Kingpalm.com, promo code BOOTLEG, and you can get 50% off of whatever you order at kingpalm.com. And don't forget to check them out because they're everywhere. Your local smoke shop, your local liquor store, 7-Eleven, smoke the King Palm. All right? It's organic. It ain't like all that other bullshit y'all be fucking stuffing in your lungs, man. All right? Shout out to King Palm, kingpalm.com, promo code BOOTLEG right now. And it's actually promo code BOOTLEG Kev. Promo code BOOTLEG Kev. Not bootleg. Bootleg Kev. Kingpalm.com. Half off everything. Let's get back to the interview. Well, yeah, I think like Cordae, I think he had said like in one of our interviews, he turned down like, was it the Gap? He turned down like a crazy bag.
Did we tell you that? Because I know you were fishing. Did we say that? Oh, I ended up saying, yeah, it was the Gap, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the Gap.
Yeah, but like, it's like not all, like I think.
It'd be corny.
Well, I think most people, like most artists or rappers would be like, how much is it? Yes.
Yeah.
Let me put some Gap on, you know what I mean?
So I think that the responsibilities come down to just like having like a long-term vision for where you guys want to go.
Right.
Because that's kind of going to serve as your moral compass that allows you to know what's right and wrong for you, for your business,
Right.
and for the image of the artist. Again, just focusing on like the long-term goal, not near-sighted accomplishments, right? And then I think just like, yeah, bro, just knowing how to work cohesively within a team, right? So your representation of the artist. So it's not just managing relationships; it's understanding the functionality of teams. So if it's a label, for example, you gotta know the difference between your A&R. You gotta know the difference between that role and your product manager, your admin, the executive vice president of A&R versus the ones who do research.
Right.
Your music video commissioner, you know, the legal department, the president versus the CEO, you know, versus, you know,
Because you're kind of like
versus
well,
the,
you're
the-
also kind of the liaison too between him and the label, right? When it comes to certain communication, like
yeah, you're kind of the liaison between the artist and everything.
Yeah.
Ultimately. And that's why it's so important for an artist and a manager to be on the same page, just psychologically, and also in terms of like the orientation of your goals, because you're speaking on their behalf. If you guys aren't on the same page, you're gonna have a lot of false narrative conversations on their behalf, and eventually those types of convos and narratives get back to the artist. And that's when artists say, wait, why didn't I know about this?
why didn't
Wait,
I? Yeah.
He didn't tell me this.
My manager's having conversations behind my back. and
Yeah,
you always
yeah.
hear all kinds of shit.
Yeah,
Like
so like when the conversations represent the artist best, those conversations never get back to the artist because it's fluid.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
that.
Like,
Yeah, transparency is important.
yeah, and when something's wrong, as like a DJ and also an
Yeah.
entrepreneur and, you know, many other things. If you have relationships directly with artists, if you're talking to their managers, you know when it sounds like it's coming from the manager, not the artist.
Oh, for sure, it happens a lot.
Because the manager is it's not upholding the representation
Right.
of the artist that you know personally.
Right.
So when it's clear and it's concise, it feels consistent and it feels
Or
real.
it'll feel like there'll be times I'll be talking to like some guy's managers and I'll be like, dude, listen, man, this guy's clearly putting a whole lot on top of whatever he's quoting me so he can put it in his pocket.
Right.
Like it happens a lot.
And I think that's the other thing too, dude. Like, to be real with you, like, again, rap is different because like it's just such a lucrative industry where there's so much money.
So
But-
it's a cash heavy business. So
Yeah.
it's like, yo, I could tell this promoter 25 and give my artist 20. And
yeah, for sure. But when you're dealing with almost any other genre, it ain't like that. You like
that was just happening with a big artist who's a female, where she found out that like she was like whoever she was doing parties with, like I think it was her road manager, was
Yeah.
just like taking
yeah,
lots of bread off the top.
yeah, and I really do believe that like money is what focusing on money, putting money first,
Right.
is what ruins businesses. Like you have to focus on purpose. Right?
Yeah, and like all that shit will come if you.
It does, as long as you don't put it first.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, no one pays you money because you want money, right? People pay you for a service
Right.
or a byproduct that you're selling. So if you focus on the quality of your service, where people feel like they either can't get it anywhere else or that you just do it better than
Right.
most
No, the money will
people
come.
in your line
That's
of
what
work.
the new Suns owner just made news because the Suns had like a deal with like Bally Sports for the last like 5 years. So if you didn't have cable, you can watch Suns games in Phoenix.
Yeah.
And he's like, fuck that. I want my shit to be free everywhere.
Yeah, I
So,
fuck with that.
now the Suns, like you could watch, like I think starting next season, like wherever you're at, you could either stream Suns games for free. You don't have to have a league pass. Or if you're in Arizona, it's just on the fucking normal Channel 3. So like, and he said, I just heard an interview. He was like, I don't give a fuck. He's like, I give a fuck about the fans. He's
Yeah.
like, because like the short-term money doesn't matter. Like
Yeah.
I'm going to own this team forever.
Yeah, another,
Like,
another thing to
I'm
remember.
trying to build diehard fans. I want the more people who go watch the game, the more Suns fans we have. Like, what are we
Yeah.
doing here? Like,
And the other thing to remember is, right, like, and I'll draw a comparison in lineage with what I'm about to say, even with sports. Like, you brought up the Suns. I'm a Celtics fan.
Right.
Go look at the Celtics 5 years ago. Go look at the Suns 5 years ago. Right? Look at any rapper, any hip hop artist, any pop artist, just any act. Go look at any corporate business, any brand. It takes 5 years to build a strong and identifiable business or brand.
well, yeah, because 5 years ago they went to the Eastern Conference Finals though, lost to
Go
the
look
Cavs.
at who, the Celtics?
Mm-hmm. That was the year that Kyrie was hurt and they went to the Eastern Conference Finals.
Did we?
That was 2018.
We went to the Eastern Conference Finals.
Yeah, and lost to LeBron James.
Right.
But
in any case, go look at the players.
No. But nobody expected that, and it was kind of like it felt like when the Hawks made it to the Eastern Conference Finals 2 years ago. Nobody was like.
Well, and also
I think the Celtics have built like
my point is we have a team that belongs to us now. Though Kyrie was a traded player, like
no, everybody's drafted. Everybody's Marcus Smart, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown.
It took time to develop those players.
For sure,
you know
for sure.
Saying? Like,
the whole squad is. It's been like Robert Williams. These are all people who were drafted.
It's been like 4 years of Jason Tatum.
Yeah, and if you think about like
bro,
6 or 7 years ago, everybody's like, "What the fuck is Danny Ainge doing with all these picks?"
Yeah,
and it worked out. You picked all these fucking guys.
Yeah, Devin Booker. Like, so my point is like. It's the same thing with artists, bro. Right. Like, even if you see like a success that seems to just like come out of nowhere, like a YB in the mirror, or like a Yeet, or something like that. 5 years is gonna tell you where it's really at. It's either gonna tail off, because you didn't do the necessary things brick by brick to make sure that you were building something sustainable, or it's gonna completely start to catapult and incline because you did all of the groundwork to build something sustainable, and now you're seeing the fruits of your labor pay off. So I think that as a manager, like you have to be focused on that because ain't nobody bigger than the program.
Right.
There's no such thing as elevators. They go up just as fast as they come down.
Yeah.
You got to take the stairs because the only way that you can fall off, both literally and figuratively, is if you choose to. You got to go back down those steps. You have to make terrible decisions on your behalf that send you back down them. But you built it yourself. Brick by brick. Right. So at least you have that option.
I think that's like obviously what you guys have been building with Cordae. It's like it's a fan base. It's a 20-year plan. It's not a, fucking short-sighted. When I think of Cordae, I'm like, well, Cordae will be here and I feel like he'll be here forever. So it's like, a lot of these guys I can't say that about.
Yeah, and the hardest part for the artists.
Like I'm not sure anyone's going to care about Yeet in 3 years. I could be wrong.
This guy's crazy.
I just don't think anyone's going to care, personally. Seems like a nice guy.
I love you. You know what I like about your platform? You get to just say what the fuck you want.
I mean, shout out to Yeet.
Nobody can fire you.
His music's fucking terrible, but someone likes it.
You know what I like? The thing that...
Somebody likes Yeet. Somebody likes Playboy Cardi. All this shit is just going over my head. Under my head.
What I think is super important, too...
He likes Yeet. He's...
Yeah.
I don't really listen to Yeet. I listen to Playboy Cardi.
Oh, this guy's a fucking...
But you know what I think is super important? I think this is so important. I think this is the fucking reason why we have so many trolls. Also because it's like little white kids who don't know anything about...
They're going to grow up. They're going to be 21. And they're going to be like, I'm a little old for this Yeet shit.
Oh, yeah.
And then they're going to...
You saw me post something like that.
No, I didn't.
Like on my gram, I said, the reality is this. Conceptual music that's made with intent and purpose... It's always going to outlast the latter. And the reason why is because these young kids who adapt to shit so quickly, they're young-minded. They don't have responsibilities. They're not going through real things. But as they get older and they have bills, they're going through real relationships.
They're not going to still want the same microwavable shit.
Yeah, they need things that get them through the times and relate to them during the times that they're dealing with. And who are they going to turn to? The things that they once criticized and turned a cheek to that they didn't understand at the time.
Right.
And that's why you have... the SZAs and the Janae Coles and the Lizzos and the Kendricks and the J. Coles, they outlast everybody.
For sure, because it's quality. Yeah, I mean, I always say that.
Because people are always going to go through the same troubles, tribulations, life experiences over and over. They just have to reach a certain age when it clicks in. And some people hit it earlier than others, but it's going to click no matter what. It's inevitable.
How do you see AI affecting what you do and or just the music industry as a whole?
I mean, bro... You know what's crazy? Cordae put me onto this website where I forget the name of it, but like you can type in celebrities and you can ask questions about those celebrities. And I typed the question in.
Is it ChatGPT?
I forget.
Probably that one. Yeah, that's the main one. Yeah.
I typed a question about an artist and I said like, what can this artist do? I put the artist's name obviously. I said, what can this artist do to elevate their career? Yo, the 4 responses that came back were so fucking on point that I'm like, yo, AI can put managers out of business. AI just can't show up physically.
I feel like they can make. I feel like they're gonna end up like someone's gonna figure out how to make AI produce records. There's gonna be an app where like you could just be like, I want a beat that sounds like this and uses this riff, and then they're just gonna make a beat. Like it's coming.
But you know the problem with AI though? AI is predicated purely on data and the pure injection and consumption of analytics. It's never going to be able to form an opinion. So,
sure.
and we're in a line of work where nobody has the answers. It's just a current. It flows and it changes. And tomorrow this can be a trend, and the next day it can be a trend. And the only way to keep up with that is if you, as a human being, are actually in tune with something. And that's what we're always going to have over technology is free thought and opinion. Free thought and opinion.
Yeah.
And you're never going to be able. You can put a price on that or value because that's why we all have a job.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because to certain degrees, we're all experts in some way, shape, or form. Some more than others, some less than others. But like, we're doing this professionally. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So if not experts, we're definitely professionals. AI is not a professional. It's the consumption and injection of data.
Yeah, it's
and data can be wrong. Machines are always wrong at some point. And who are you gonna blame? Like an artist at some point is gonna sit there and look at it like, yo, you're putting my fucking career.
ChatGPT,
yeah, you're
man.
putting my career in the hands of technology. Like, you know
What
I'm
would
saying?
you, if you're like let's say there's an up and coming artist, they're fucking in St. Louis, and they're like, I got a local buzz. They don't have a manager. What would be a fair percentage for that up and coming artist to give up to a new manager?
What would be a fair?
Yeah, like, because, we always hear about people getting taken advantage of. We always hear, like, there's shitty production deals that happen. There's, like, if you're like, what would be like a standard fair percentage for a new artist to give to a manager who maybe has some experience to kind of, without them getting kind of like bent over, Because I hear some crazy
What
shit
would be a
sometimes.
fair percentage for an artist to give a brand new manager?
Yeah, no, not a brand new. Like, let's say rapper X has 30,000 monthly listeners.
Okay.
Is running around whatever hometown, getting $500 to $1,000 to do a club, has a song kind of doing all right on TikTok, no management. Someone approaches them. What would you say is like a fair number that they could get what they want without getting taken advantage of? Because what is the industry standard? Between like 10, 20%?
15.
15, okay.
15, 10 the minimum, 20 on the high.
Okay.
If you're doing 10, you should usually have a partner. Because then you
Like
guys
if you're
are
doing
splitting
10
you're co-manager. Because then
Right.
like both you guys split 10 and it equals the max, which is 20. 20,
You got to do a lot.
you gotta be bringing a lot in.
So between the
because
10 and 20, depending on the circumstances.
15 is safe because like if for whatever reason that hopefully is fair and justifiable, the artist decides that they want to decrease your percentage, there's wiggle room for you to come down from 15 to 10 is the floor. But also there's wiggle room for you as a manager where you can
Maybe go up to
justify
20.
going up.
Yeah.
If you're just fucking crushing it.
Right.
You know what I mean? There's also wiggle room where like, you may want to bring in a day-to-day manager and give them 5% so that you can grow as a manager. You can accomplish more things with your time instead of being spread thin. And so the artist has someone around all the time to be able to handle the small nuts and bolts that you're overqualified to be able to handle. Even though you can handle it, we only have so many hours in a day. Where do you want to apply your focus? You should be doing it on the things that only you are capable of doing around that artist, and bringing somebody else in who's qualified to consider themselves a manager, but not quite for a percentage where the artist is kicking more out of their purse.
How involved are you with high level?
High level? I mean, me and Cordae, like we're partners.
Which is Cordae's label?
Yeah, that's his brand. It's his label. We just did a pub deal with Pulse. So
You
now
guys I just saw like a high level Puma that dropped, right?
Yeah.
There they are.
I mean, I've been wearing them, but
Those are sick. I don't have any, but they're nice.
I thought I put you on the list for them.
No, I'm not on any list.
Yeah, we've been with Puma for 4 years. Shout out Puma. We actually have the longest current active deal with Puma. Yeah, of any of their music artists,
That's big.
endorsees. So it was something that we've been working on for 2 years between the designs, the business of it, the rollout, the planning and shit. But yeah, it's dope. We did a high level Puma capsule clothing collab and went through nationwide distribution in Foot Lockers all throughout the country, even in Puerto Rico, which was tight. Yeah, that was tight. So I mean, we're just focusing on making like small strategic moves,
Right.
in terms of like the collabs we do, because it's really early still.
Right.
The brand's 2 years old. Cordae's been in the music industry for 4.5 years.
Right.
So as the artist gets bigger, everything around him does as well. So we're not in a rush to try to like explode the brand. We just want to start building the story.
Right.
in terms of like where you see it, who we align with, so it's sexy, it makes sense.
Right.
And, you know, as we continue to grow, as he continues to grow, the brand will grow with it. You know, Dreamville was an idea.
Right.
And then it became a label.
Then it
once
became
J. Cole
Dreamville.
was big enough to sign artists, and then they developed a festival and clothing line, and now Dreamville's like, you know, it's a very serious multi-million-dollar brand in business.
Got to stop the interview real quick to tell you about our family at Blue Chew, baby. That's right. It's getting hot outside. You know what that means, fellas? You about to go get that dick wet. You know what I'm saying? It might as well be really hard. It might as well be as hard as it could possibly be. And with Blue Chew, you will achieve such hardness, all right? It's seriously amazing. And the best part about Blue Chew is you can find out if it works. Don't just take my word for it. They're going to give you a month's supply for free. Go to bluechew.com, use that promo code BOOTLEG, get a month's supply for free. BlueChew.com, promo code BOOTLEG. Now, it's the same active ingredient as Viagra and Cialis, minus the awkward doctor appointment. You do not have to go see some old dude and tell him about your erectile dysfunction issues in person, because that's a fucking awkward conversation, bruh. All you got to do is go to bluechew.com right now, use the promo code BOOTLEG. They're going to get you hooked up with a month of supply for free. You just got to pay $5 in shipping. No awkward doctor's appointments. Same active ingredient as Viagra and Cialis. Plus, they got the Blue Chew Mint. It's a chewable. It's great. Tastes like mint. It's also the same active ingredient as Levitra. So, summertime's coming, fellas. You don't want to underperform. Make sure your dick is rocked up, baby, all right? Go to bluechew.com. Use the promo code BOOTLEG. Hey, man, it works. What do you want from me? It fucking works. Everyone should have a little Blue Chew in case of an emergency. You might have an emergency. You need to pop a Blue Chew. Chew it. It's a chewable. You know what I mean? Anyway, also got a shout out to our family at Odd Socks. Don't forget, go to oddsocksofficial.com, promo code BOOTLEG, save 20% off. Man, they got the underwear that they just dropped last year that's amazing. So not only do you get the most comfortable socks in the world, but you can also get the most comfortable drawers in the world, all the crazy licenses. They got half-baked socks. They just announced their Hasbro collection, which is crazy because that means you're going to get Monopoly socks, Transformers socks, Power Ranger socks, so much shit going with Odd Socks. Plus, they got the Odd Socks Basics, my favorite. This is what I wear every day. I wear the Basics because they're the most comfortable socks I've ever put on my fucking feet. So experience the most comfortable socks in the world with me. OddSocksOfficial.com, promo code BOOTLEG. Save 20% off. Shout out to Odd Socks. Let's get back to the interview. Let me ask you this. How many times have you had to be manager / bodyguard?
Bro, I had to do that early on with Amir's career. That shit was wild. Just because, like...
Because I feel like I sometimes I'll see you with, and there's be no security. It's just you.
Yeah.
So I guess Ace is just kind of the last line of defense.
Yeah, it ain't fun though because it's like you know, me bodyguarding is like just like leveling. Like, yo, come on, yo, like, yo, we just trying to do this. Like, can y'all move? I don't know. You just treat people with respect. You know, people always reciprocate it in return. You know, bodyguards, they're not there for that. They're there to like look intimidating, be intimidating, and neutralize. Right. But when I first started with Amir, unfortunately, we couldn't afford to have like a professional bodyguard on retainer. So like, I wasn't really the bodyguard. I was just like, I guess like the big brother or parental figure who was just like moving them around as such.
Right.
And so, and this is like in the very early stages, like in the first like few months. You know what I'm saying? It was mad unsettling though because I'm trying to do business and like do my job, and then I also have to be like having my head on swivel, looking at like who's looking and watching because he evoked a lot of negative energy, bro. He's talking about guns and shooting people and killing
in the
niggas.
Music video.
Yeah, and he's mad small.
I remember the first time I met him, I was like, bro, you're a good kid.
Yeah. You're a sweetheart.
I was like, bro, you're a good kid. Like,
so like that type of energy had a lot of other young niggas pulling up, and it's always the young niggas in every city who are the ones shooting and doing dumb shit because they have all that time in their hands.
Right.
You know. So those were that was the shit I was dealing with early on. Was like looking at the eyes of like 5 hoodied up 16-year-old is watching our Sprinter van pull up, or looking at him in the crowd, not cheering, not celebrating, not joining in on the crowd interaction. They're just there just to talk shit and say fuck YBN at the end of the performance. So
Jesus.
Yeah, it was a wild time. It was fun though, because like at the end of the day, it's like, even though shit does get real, I have no choice but to look at it for what it is, which is like, you guys are fucking kids, dude.
Right, for sure.
You know what I mean?
What's coming up next, man? Anything you want to promote or I know you You obviously just signed Turbo, which is a big deal.
Yeah. I'm a partner at Range, which is we're a management company. There's like I think 12 of us, and then we have a really really dope staff of like I think like 60 individuals who all come from different labels and companies and things of that nature. And we just started working with Turbo, so I'm working with him now. And he's dope, diamond credited producer.
Crazy.
Tons of plaques, and he's working on an album.
Ooh.
His debut album, which is very, very in premature stages, but it's something that he's gonna be working on. We have a really, really dope single coming out. I can't say who. When I say we, I mean Cordae. In June 16th.
Okay.
I think it's gonna shake the world up. It's not just us. It's kind of, I can't really say what it is without giving too much information, but it's something that's really special.
Big deal coming.
Yeah. It has like several parties involved that make it something that's like really monumental and special. But June 16th, that's happening. Cordae has a tour taking place. Domestic, it'll be announced, it'll be in the fall, and then go overseas, a world tour that's on the horizon. But yeah, bro, just working and just, honestly, bro, it's, if you talk with anybody, with any A&R, any manager, anybody who's multifaceted like you, it'll be the same thing. If I ask you what you have going on, it's all the things you're doing now, but you just have to keep it going. You have to keep working at it because everything is just like one foot in front of the other. You've never really arrived.
Right.
So there's no finish line.
Of course not.
So just continuously working, bro.
There it is,
You
man.
know what I'm saying? What do you got coming up, Kev? What are you working on? No one ever asked you questions, man. I want to ask about you.
I don't know, man. I'm just, trying to rack up the radio stations on the syndicated show. And
Plug the club, baby.
The club is there,
1111 in Arizona. What made you want to open a club?
It was an opportunity that, it's not like I wanted to open a club. It was just an opportunity that fell in my lap that was a slam dunk of a gamble as it could be.
Some homies, some good friends that you have a relationship with were opening a club, and they saw like...
So one of my close friends had reached out to me, my boy Corey, and he was like, hey, there's an opportunity here. I'm not going to do it without you and Davion. If you guys are in, we figured it out. We kind of, it was just it was like a slam dunk.
Yeah.
So it was like, because I had turned down opportunities to be a part of clubs in Phoenix before, or in Arizona rather. But this particular opportunity was like the other parties who were involved. It was just, there was like a missing...
look,
there's no hip hop club. In Scottsdale, all the hip hop clubs got closed.
International's done.
International closed.
That was the shit.
There's a small spot there called Pretty Please, which is like a fucking shoebox. But there was really nothing else going on. So it was like, damn, if we do this the right way, and Super Bowl was coming up.
Yeah.
So it was like, shit, Super Bowl's next year.
Yo, there's something else happening in Arizona next year. I was just texting you about it when I found out.
Well, Super Bowl just happened, but I think Final Four's coming.
That's what it is, the Final Four. Oh, dude, you're going to fucking crush
Final
it.
Four's coming. We get spring training,
It's like 2 weeks of games, dude.
Yeah, spring training is, a month and a half. There's a lot of shit. But
You know what I like about you, Kev? DJing is... I think DJing, in terms of like one of the core forms of art in music, it's the hardest job to be successful at,
right,
by way of making a real living. Now, I'm not talking about being able to afford bills. I'm talking about like to the point where like you can continue to progress and you can make the type of money that we all hope to make one day and to be able to acquire things that we want, just not that we need, and where you don't have to worry about bills. Because DJs a lot of the time are the last people to get paid when you look at the overhead costs of a club or a festival, or even if you're looking at artists, dude. Like you look at it's like, how much is this DJ's dope, but like how much do they cost? Okay, cool. We can go find another DJ who'll do it for less. And that's the problem. It's almost like graphic designers.
Yeah, you guys had hit me up to be Cordae's first DJ.
Yeah, I would have loved that. It would have been tight.
I just was like, I can't do it, man. I got too much.
Yeah, well, look, when artists are just starting, bro, we couldn't afford you. Yeah. I was just hoping you would jump in. It would have been tight. You know what I mean? But my point is, I love what you're doing because like you're like the ultimate entrepreneur because you've been able to take DJing as just kind of like the identifiable aspect in the core of what you do that made everybody give a shit. Right. And then from there, you're like, okay, if I'm gonna DJ, what's the next step of how I can generate something that's lucrative? Like okay, let me get the radio. Then you get the radio. You're like, okay, cool. Radio now is transitioning to podcast. Let me start a podcast. Okay, cool. So now if I'm on radio and I'm interviewing artists because I have relationships with them, what's the next step? Let me bring them to a club.
Hey, Hannibal Burris is calling. Let me give you my phone real quick.
Fire. How do you know that number without his name popping up? Oh, it is popping up.
Yeah, we're about to do an interview with him.
And so I wanted to tell you, because I don't think anybody's ever told you this on air, bro, but you deserve to hear it. It's dope how you've been able to make a business out of yourself instead of a byproduct, but a business out of yourself. And there's several different verticals of the Bootleg Kev brand.
I'm just trying to run it up, man. Get it while I can, man.
It's hard to do that, bro. It's hard to do that. That's like pure entrepreneurialism. That's the word, right? Entrepreneurialism.
Yeah. I might be buying another club, too.
Sorry?
I might be buying another club, too.
I need in on that one.
I'll let you know.
I need in on that one, bro.
It's in Cali.
Yeah, I need in on that one.
I can't tell you what city, but it's in California.
Modesto.
Fuck no.
Modesto's
Shout out to Modesto. I'm actually about
Modesto's going to be on your head top.
No, I actually start doing nights out there next Monday. I'll be the night show in Modesto. On
That's
the radio
tight.
station. Yep.
That's tight.
Hannibal Burris is here.
Oh, shit.
Yes.
Hannibal, man, you was in our video for R&P, bro. R&P with Cordae and Anderson .Paak.
He made his quarter.
He was in there acting fucking crazy.
All right, well, listen, Ace. Go follow Ace. What's your IG?
People call me Ace. Just PPL. Call me Ace.
Boom. My guy. Appreciate you, brother. Yes,
Love
sir.
you, bro.
Hey, we got to wrap up an interview brought to you by Hardin Las Vegas. Appreciate y'all watching. Hey, don't forget, when you go to Vegas, you got to go to Hardin, man. It's the craziest dispensary you'll ever walk into. It smells like fucking heaven in there. All right? Get in that Uber when you hit Sin City. Tell them, take me to Hardin. They're going to take you. You're going to get a wild selection of the just top of the line cannabis. The best selection you'll go be able to see in the U.S. Plus, on top of that, they got the crazy gear. They got the clothes. They got the bikinis. They got a wonderful selection of bud tenders that are very good at their job, man. They'll take care of you. Tell them that Bootleg Kev sent you. The bud tenders of Hardin. They'll know what that means. They're going to get you hooked up right. All right, go follow them online, Hardin_Las Vegas, or just go check out their website too, man, HardinLasVegas.com. And when you're in Vegas, pull up to Hardin or you're playing yourself, for real.